again with another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Avengers Infinity War Iron Spider. This is Build-A-Figure Thanos, so let's get into it. So taking a look around the packaging here, you got the Avengers A logo, nice picture of Spider-Man in purple with that Iron Spider logo highlighted, UPC on the bottom, nice picture of Spidey with a description, so pause if you want to read that. On the bottom, other figures you need to build Thanos. But without further ado, let's get into it. Here is Spider-Man next to all the Hasbro iterations that we got, and you can see how much smaller he is compared to the homemade suit. Here he is next to Iron Man and Cap. Here he is next to a couple of Avengers. And finally, this is them straight up, and so you can get an idea on how Spider-Man fits with all these characters. Yeah. Question: can you fit? No, you cannot. Sorry. If you really wanted to get it on there, the Tom Holland head sculpt, you really have to use a hairdryer, soften that hole up in his head, and you just can't fit it because the ball hinge on the Iron Spider is way bigger compared to the previous tech suit or the Tony Stark suit that we got. And if you wanted to, you could put the Iron Spider on the previous suit, which I think it looks good. It's just the reds are a little bit off colored. Being that Spider-Man has no accessories, you can use the previous Homecoming fist here to put it on the Iron Spider, and it fits well. It's not too tight or not too loose. It just fits like a glove, except on the left hand it's a little tight. So comparing the Iron Spider to the previous suit, the tech suit, you can see how much detail is on this and texturing. The sculpting is much more different. They use a different body mold. The eyes here, they're a little bit more opened up compared to the Homecoming one. And I really like what they did with the webbing. They didn't really sculpt it in too deep or add any panel lining or any indication of lines. It's just it's perfect. It's not deep as the one that we got in Civil War, which is right here. It's much deeper, and you can see the eyes are about the same size. I don't know if they reused this mold here, but going back over to the Homecoming suit, you could see they really redesigned the body for this Iron Spider. I really like this design compared to the Homecoming. The Homecoming one is a little bit wimpy. It's I don't know. It is muscular, but it's just the proportions are kind of weird if you look at it from the torso area. But I think the legs here are pretty much the same, or the thighs. I don't know about the boots here, but they look pretty much the same, and the feet here look pretty much about the same. So yeah, I just really like what they did with the improved torso area. So taking a closer look at Spider-Man here just by himself. Finally, I know I already done too many close-ups of this guy, but I have to say this is the cleanest looking head sculpt that we got on a Spider-Man figure, including paint, specifically more on the eyes. And that Iron Spider logo, it's just beautiful. You could see the little glossy red on the chest area. It doesn't continue that glossy red on the head, but it maintains that same color. Same thing here with the butterfly joints. It has that same consistency of the paint going through the butterfly joint. You can see right there. Same thing on the back. It's not painted all the way through. You could see some gold bits that they missed, but it's clean enough. And I really like what they did with this metallic kind of purplish blue. In some lighting conditions, it looks kind of purplish blue, more over to the blue than purple. I think in the trailer, it looked a little bit more purple. At least they got the colors right, which are really nice. And you can see that same texturing goes throughout the thighs here. And mostly just every inch of this figure is the same texturing. You can see the spider butt right there. It's nice and shiny. I really like what they did with the sculpting here and the paint. I'm not really too disappointed. There are some red splotches in the gold areas, but overall, I really like the paint, and they have that consistent red gloss over the torso, the arms, and I think the boots, excluding the head, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, so for Spider-Man's articulation, he has a ball hinge head, which can rotate all the way around. It could look up that far, which is decent, and down that much, which is great as well. His arms do rotate all the way around. They go out that far. They kind of click. They're kind of a little bit stiff. I'm going to get more in detail into that in the closer look portion of this video. And you can see he has butterfly joints right there, which can move back that far and far that forward. And if you want, you could rotate the arm here to get even a more inward articulation or range on the arms. He has a bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows right there, which are not bad for a Spider-Man figure. His wrist here do rotate all the way around. They're on a hinge right there. They could bend down that far for the thwipping poses, and they can bend that up, that far up right there. His chest right here is on a hinge, so he could bend forward that far and bend back that much, which is not that significant. He has a waist rotation right here. His legs can kick forward that far, so he could sit down like a little child that he is right there, which is really nice. And he can't kick back whatsoever to save his life. But you got an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees right there. His feet can bend down that far. Michael Jackson approved right there. And he could bend his feet up, not too far, so but it works anyways. And don't forget, he has the ankle pivot. Also, the ankle pivot test right here, he can almost do the splits, but yes, try to fiddle him around here, and eventually, boom, that's what it looks like. Welcome. This is the taking a closer look portion part of the video. So this is where, you know, basically I just take a closer look how the joints kind of intermesh well, or kind of link together, kind of flow with the sculpting, and just to talk a little bit about the problems that I have with this figure. First off, you can see the head is not shiny compared to the rest of the body, but yeah. Also, yes, right here, this butterfly joint, you hear that clicking. It is tough to move it in and out. It's still tough to move it right now, even though I have the figure right here in hand. You can see it's just, it won't like budge open. You gotta do like bend the arm a certain way. It's just the hinge problem, or the butterfly joint is a little tough on this, which is kind of unfortunate. But you could see that sculpting continues throughout the whole figure, which looks nice. And the paint job here on the abdomen area, it doesn't the paint doesn't go through all the way, but it does go through enough. You can see the back right here. You can see same thing. They didn't paint it all the way, which is kind of unfortunate and lazy of Hasbro. But considering how many figures that we're gonna get a Spider-Man, I won't be sad. We're probably gonna get a SH Figure Awards, probably a Marvel Select, but yeah, you could see right there. It's just, I really have problems like posing this guy. And same thing with the double jointed elbows. They're stiff out of packaging, so you might want to use warm water just to unstiffen that up. And be cautious when you get these figures, when you get them early like I did. They're really stiff. I don't know if it's the quality control, it's probably the first batch, but they are really stiff. Like from this point, like all my figures have been stiff. The articulation is really bad. So it's just, you gotta use hot water or some hair dryers to not make it as bad. But the articulation's great, don't get me wrong. So overall, it's kind of mixed with me. If you do like Spider-Man, by all means get this figure. But Hasbro got a little bit greedy and didn't give us any accessories. If he had those arms in the trailer, or if they're gonna do them in the movie, it would have been nice if he had accessories like a snap-on like spider arms to complete the whole Spider-Man look, or just give us fist or open hands or anything to make it easier to pose, because it's really hard to pose with whipping hands unless you want them in a dynamic pose, which is tough. But yeah, it's just unfortunately they didn't give us any accessories, only this leg, which is he's like laying on right now. But at least you could use the tech suit from the Homecoming to use those as a fist for fill-ins by now. But yeah, that is it, guys. Hope you guys like it. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to. Go ahead. But yeah, that is it, guys. Arolf more signing out. Peace.